if you have not seen it yet, I highly recommend it. It's called The Social Dilemma. And I wrote a couple things down because I didn't want to mess up what I was saying. But Tristan Harris is the main person who developed this documentary. It's a lot of information being given by some Silicon Valley tech industry, high up tech industry people who have changed course within the industry to really evaluate what kind of impact social media and other tech giants are having on human psychology. And Tristan studied the psychology of behavioral change at Stanford, and he also is a tech guy, and he holds lots of patents, and he worked for Google, and he's one of the high up people in the tech realm. He's changed courses after kind of seeing the impact that a lot of these things have been having on human development. And he started the Center for Humane Technology. What spurred this is he wrote a paper called A Call to Minimize Distraction and Respect Users when he was at Google, which launched a very big debate within the tech industry around what are we doing with people and how is what we are doing impacting them. And he developed a term, he coined a term called human downgrading instead of upgrading, and this is the part I want to read. It's the mutually reinforcing harms of addiction, distraction, isolation, polarization, and fake news that weakens human capacity caused by technology platforms with the extractive business model to capture human attention. And those words that decrease our human capacity, the downgrading of our human capacity, addiction, distraction, isolation, polarization, and fake news. Yoga can help, right? Yoga can help, and our minds can be hijacked so easily, and the realms of technology know this, and they kind of can play into how we are influenceable. And we need to have resources to help us develop capacities of upgrading instead of downgrading. And if you think about all of those things, addiction, distraction, isolation, polarization, yoga has tools to help us with each of these human capacities that we all have. So if you think about the kleshas of yoga and the ways in which the causes of our suffering, they're very much tuned into these things. So, addiction is often something that what we reach for something that we want, right? Whether it's to a bomb of feeling good on some level, we need a little dopamine hit or some sort of something to help us feel better in the moment. This is the klesha of, attaching onto what we want, and then also avoiding what we don't want. So, these things where we cling and we avoid. And this is really the realms of addiction and distraction kind of play into these kleshas. And the other kleshas or forms of our suffering from the yogic path, the yoga sutras say this, is the sense of isolating ourselves, feeling separate from, feeling that we are small in comparison to the grand, the great vastness of all, that we become less connected, and this causes us suffering. So a lot of this comes from our ego attachments and, just the way our world is set up, that we are isolated nowadays, especially now with COVID, we're even more isolated than usual. And then polarization, this sense of ego that I'm right and you are wrong. What I believe is truth, what you believe is non-truth, and what is truth, and so the documentary Social Dilemma really goes into what is truth and what are we fed in our inboxes every day? What are we fed in our social media realms that kind of cause us to polarize even more from one another? So much so that our capacity for discourse and connection and compromise are very affected when we heighten the ego state of this is the right way and this is the wrong way. And with children, this ego state can really impact them tremendously in the realms of getting their sense of self from social media. So there's danger at play here, and we need to pay attention to it. And I think yoga can be really helpful in helping us with all of these kleshas, this sense of addiction, distraction, isolation, polarization. We can learn how to be in our bodies and trust our intuition, develop our intuition, so look inward for a sense of what is true and what is not true. Learn how to not just live in our minds, which is the constant chatter, which can be hijacked very easily, but really learn to live in the body, which has truth embedded in it a little bit more clearly sometimes if we can access that. So we can learn through interoception, we can learn through breathing practices, we can learn through mindfulness, how to be in this moment, learning what presence feels like instead of being caught in the realms of distraction. So truth lives in the body and in the breath and in our yoga practice. So if you struggle with any of these things, and I don't know anybody who doesn't, so however addiction shows up for you, do you reach for the remote control? Do you reach for the bottle? Do you reach for food? Do you reach for your phone? Do you reach for what do you reach for when you are feeling like you need that soothing state? So close your eyes when you think about this. Sit up straight and tall and think about the ways in which you are addicted to something. And it can be slight. I'm not talking about like, oh, now we all have to, kind of totally revamp our lives. But are you addicted to your phone? Are you addicted to what are you addicted to? Everybody's got the capacity for it. So where does that clinging and aversion live within your habits? And same with distraction. What is distraction? Why are you distracted? Is it something that because you're not wanting to look at what is? Or is it just kind of the feeble mind state, where we can't focus? We all have this. So how does that land for you? Isolation. Where are you feeling isolated? Do you feel it in your connection with other people? Do you feel it in the sense that you are not heard? I mean, what is it that makes you feel isolated, separate from? And then polarization. Who currently do you feel polarized from in your life that, are you no longer able to have a relationship with someone who thinks differently than you? How has all of these things impacted your well being? So, as you close your eyes and think about the ways in which we are downgrading our human capacity, now think about ways that you can upgrade your human capacity. What makes you feel connected? Think about that, not just in your mind, but in your body. When you feel connected to another human being, to a cause that rings true for you, to nature, to beauty, to music, to joy, to song, to love, whatever it is that you feel connected to, what is the feeling in your body? Can you trust that sensation and follow it? And can you decipher the difference between connection and addiction? Can you feel the hollow ring of addiction versus the deep resonance of connection? What does this feel like in your body? How is your breath? So let's let our practice teach us what it is we need, how to support ourselves and bring resiliency and truth and presence into our lives. With your eyes closed, stay grounded. Drop into the pelvis now. See what it feels like to steady yourself. Feel the yielding and connection with the earth below you. Stay in that sensation of what connection feels like. Let the heart stream. Let the mind stream. Can you feel it both mind and body? Follow the sensations of the body. Come into the breath. Drop into a state of ease. So what's tense? Can you let go? Bring your palms together at your heart and think about something in your yoga practice that upgrades your human capacity. And let's create this in our asana practice today as best as we can. Place the palms together at your heart and bow in. Offer this intention. And then release the hands. And let's come onto our back. All right, so yay, yoga. All right, so come into your practice. This is the time for you to connect with yourself. So as you lie down, take a deep breath. Melt your body into the earth. Feel that sense of what it feels like to give yourself over, to not cling, to not feel that need for instant gratification. What can drop in here now? What can you feel that's deeper than that? Even by just connecting to the earth below you. Come into the breath. Stretch your arms overhead. Let's lengthen. Okay, so start to move a bit. Stretch your right side, stretch your left side like you're climbing a little ladder or just extending, and enjoy coming into your body. So welcome yourself home. If you've been in your mind all day today, if you've been working or thinking or what have you been doing in your body? So let's come into the body. All right, let's bring our knees into the chest and rock a little bit, sway from side to side. Give yourself over to the sway. Just feel the ease of rocking. Imagine yourself on a porch swing or a hammock or an ocean tide, and just let yourself rock from side to side. Let the nervous system calm so that you can come deeper into that state of presence in your body. All right, take a deep breath here. Let's open up our knees away from each other and bring them back in, just warming the hip joints a little bit. All right, and then keep the knees together and let's circle the knees together. And obviously, you'll feel this in your hip joints, but also notice your sacroiliac joints. And circle the other way. All right, the right knee comes in, the left leg is long on the floor, and swirl around in your ankles and wiggle through your toes. Feel the compression, knee in, hip in, spine is long. Take a deep, full breath. And then change sides, left knee in, right leg long on the floor, extending through your spine. Roll through your ankles here, finding the breath. All right, let's stretch out, starfish your body, open things up, spread things wide. Exhale, draw in, knees head into chest. Feel the cat-cow, the lying down cat-cow. So open your body out. A little bit of arch in your back if it feels nice. Exhale, round the spine, tuck in. Follow the breath. Expand navel to edges on the inhale, wide open space. Exhale, draw in. Put your knees down or your feet down, put your arms out, head down, and let's windshield wiper our knees. Feel free to take your head in opposition so you can turn the other way from your knees. Just enjoying the little waking in your body, feeling the torso, feeling that little baby twist in there. And then one more time, stretch your arms and then roll over onto your side and come up onto your hands and your knees. All right, so start moving your body through some cat-cows. So notice, pay attention, be in your body. Feel the interoception, that ability to feel from the inside what's happening. Instead of always listening to the mind, can you start to trust the body's knowledge? And then start to swirl things around. Anything you want to do, swirl things around. Relax your head, move it around, your shoulders, move them around, your hips. Just come into, feeling good. What kind of little nooks and crannies can you find to sense and feel as you move? And then curl the toes under and stretch back towards child's pose with your feet wide open. Stretch the bottom of your feet, touch your inner ankles to each other, your big toes to each other, and open up the bones of your feet. And then come back, relax your feet, maybe slap them on the ground if it feels good, and come back to a regular child's pose with your feet normal. Walk the hands over to the left side of your mat and take a deep breath into the right side body. Relax the skull, soften the base of the skull, stay rooted and grounded through the pelvis. And then walk your hands over to the other side, inching over to the right. Feel the weight of your hips, relax your skull. Feel the sensation travel from your wrist all the way through your arm, armpit, rib cage, side waist, all the way to your sit bone. Come back to center, come up onto all fours and find your waking twist. Arm up, exhale, slide arm through. Gaze toward the floor, breathe deeply. And then inhale, reaching that arm wide and high, place the hand down, change sides, arm up, slide arm through. Gaze toward the floor. Deep breaths here, in and out. Have some pressure on the ground if you want. Relax the neck. Feel the breath tuck into the little tiny crevices that are tight. Breathe as deep as you can. And then come all the way back up, reaching that arm to the sky. Hands down onto the ground. Dog pose. Spread out through your feet. Pedal out your feet. Drop a heel, bend a knee. Find what's working for you. Spread out the hands. Feel the sit bones lift. Inner thighs roll back. Extend. All right, so enjoy the yielding. Drop down in. Drop your hands and feet into the earth. Rebound out. Find that connection. Deep, full breaths. Relax your neck. Stabilize through your shoulders. Make sure you're feeling good in your joint spaces. And then walk your feet forward and come into Uttanasana. Fold. Let your knees soften. Feel free to move your shoulders, your head, your tail. Inhale for a halfway lift. The spine grows long, the thighs move back. Exhale and melt back down again. Push off your feet. Rise upward, reaching the arms up to the sky. Open the chest. Maybe cactus, open your arms. What feels nice? And then relax your arms. Interlace your hands behind your back. Open up through your chest. Find your breath again. Bend your knees and come forward. Relax your head. Start to open up your shoulders. See what they feel like. Bring the shoulder blades toward each other. Let the neck relax. Release the hands down to the floor. Have your blocks handy. Come into a lunge with your right foot forward, your left foot back. All right, so as you come into this posture, Notice what you feel like. How's your body today? Are your hips feeling tight? Are your knees hurting? Are your feet hurting? What kind of support do you need to give yourself? Find your breath. Let's start moving. Square hips, relax your chin toward your chest. Straighten your front leg, and then bend it again. I'm just going back and forth, bending and straightening, loosening up the hamstrings a little bit, stretching open some fascia, getting blood flow moving through to your limbs. All right, let's come into a lunge. Place the back knee down onto the ground. Bring your arms wherever you want them to be. So maybe they want to be at your sides. Maybe they want to be up over your head, out, so that anything that feels nice in your body. Bring yourself into your pose. Remember your roots. So feel the contraction of front heel and back knee supporting each other. That sense of rooting to rise, the support of your inner thighs. What can you do to relax and feel spacious? And then release the hands back down onto the ground. Back knee can either stay down or it can lift up. We're going to bring our hands to the inside edge of our thigh. Lift the thigh bone even if your knee stays on the ground. Widen the whole pelvis. Your sit bones widen, your hip bones widen. Feel the sense of space across your rib cage and collarbones. Finding the breath. All right, let's step all the way back to dog pose, extending through your spine, inner spiral the thighs. Bend your knees, breathe deeply. All right, then walk your feet forward and come into Uttanasana. Fold a bit. Relax the head, see if you can melt anything that's tense. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Push off your feet, rise upward. Reaching the arms to the sky, open your body up. Maybe cactus arms, maybe big open arms, and then relax. Okay, take your arms out to the sides. Press your palms as if they were near walls, even if they're not. Fingertips pointing up toward the sky. Eyes of the elbows pointing up toward the sky. Shoulders pointing down. Find your breath. Let's reach one ear up, and then reach the other ear up. So as you do this, just see what it feels like to open across some of those nerves in your arms. If it makes you numb, maybe go a little less deep in your neck bending. Okay, and then relax. Shrug your shoulders, shake out your hands. Just release any tension you feel through your palms. Few big shoulder shrugs here, and then open to a bigger cactus shrug and close to a rounder cactus shrug. Inhale, arms lifting to the sky. Exhale and fold forward. Relax the head. Halfway lift, sit bones lift high. Exhale and melt to the ground. Step your right foot back. Your left foot is coming forward to a lunge on this side. Extending the heart. Start moving your front leg. So we're going to bend and straighten the left leg. Squaring the hips the whole way. Feel free to tuck the chin toward the chest as you straighten the front leg. Same as we just glided the nerves in our arms, glide the sciatic nerve by tucking your chin toward your chest. How's your breath? Can you feel that you're in your body, that you're in this moment? Is your mind still being hijacked a little bit, traveling into the past or imagined future? If you are struggling with anxiety, which is very understandable at the moment, how is being in the breath, in the exhales, in the body helping you? Does it help you? I hope it helps you. Take your hands to the inside edge of your left leg. Your knee can be down onto the ground. Move your shoulders away from the ears. Your knee can be up off the ground. Find what works for you. Allow the sit bone, your left sit bone, to drop down, widen both sit bones, widen the whole pelvis, widen the rib cage, widen the collarbones. Hug your knee toward your arm. Keep lifting your thigh, even if your knee is on the ground. And then let's go ahead and put the knee onto the ground if it's not there already. Adjust your foot back to straight if you bent it outward, and find your way up, coming into a lunge. Find the stability. The knee is on the floor, so hug in, front knee, front heel and back knee, and not only pull the heel toward the knee, but push it into the floor. Use your leg muscles. Find strength that works in your hamstrings, your glutes, your inner thighs, your quads. Let everything work. Those muscles enjoy being active, so give them a job to do. Use your effort as a way to stay in the body. Spread out the bones of your hands and feet. Find your breath. Arms can go anywhere you want them. There's no rules, only principles of movement. There's no rules to follow. Just follow the interoception. What is your body feeling? Trust yourself. What's truth? What feels good? Place the hands down onto the ground and step your front foot back. Plank pose. Hold yourself stable. You can always put your fists on the ground. You can always put your knees on the ground. You can always put your forearms on the ground. There's lots of ways to change this pose for accommodating whatever your body is needing. Deep breaths. Hug your rib cage in. Not only hug toward the midline with your core as you exhale, hug it with your hands. Hug an imaginary block with your feet, your shins, your thighs. All right, and then let's come down to the floor, finding your breath. Just a gentle little cobra. Don't go big. Just sense into what the body's feeling. Exhale on the way down. A couple more times, finding some range of motion in your spine, moving into extension, stabilizing with your legs and pelvis, keeping the neck neutral. Make sure you're breathing. All right, and then after a couple, come onto your hands and knees and sway that out. So it's like shaking out your hands. Shake out your spine. You can swivel from side to side or circle, move your head around, whatever's nice. Stretch up to dog pose. You can always come onto your forearms if your hands are not happy campers. Finding the breath. Inhale, lift your right leg up in the air. Stack your right hip over your left and open the rib cage up. Take a deep breath here. And then exhale, square the hips. Stretch that leg back. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, knee to nose. Hug your hands toward the midline. Feel your rib cage engage. Reach that leg back. Exhale and come to a lunge. Plant your foot down. Extending the spine. Reaching the heart forward. Finding your lunge. Feel your stable base. Root into the feet. Ground yourself. Yield. Give yourself over to this earth right now. Here. What's here under your feet? Rise up. Bring your arms anywhere you want them to be, so they can be up, they can be out, they can be in. Finding your deep breaths here. Relax the shoulders. What's available? Let's go ahead and twist. Coming to the right. Your hands can be on your hips, your hands can be at your heart, your arms can be out. Drop the shoulders. Feel broad and open across your heart and the back heart too, not just the front heart. Feel that sense of being able to be open to connection. Try not to close yourself off. Rise back to center, reaching the arms upward, outward, wherever they go. Place the hands down. Back foot comes forward. Fold in half. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt. Push off your feet, lifting upward, finding the breath. If you're dizzy, just stay down. You don't always have to come up and down. You don't have to follow me ever. Okay, one more time. And then fold in half. Inhale for a halfway lift. Thighs back, sit bones wide and big. Exhale and melt. Let's step back to dog pose. Extending through the spine. Let's lift the left leg up in the air. Hips are square. Finding your breath. And then when you're ready, stack your hip. Lift it over the other one. Where are you feeling this? Feel it in your torso, wherever it is, and breathe there. And then square the hips again. Stretch that foot back. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, squeeze in. Knee to nose, hug your hands toward each other. Inhale, bring that leg back. Exhale, swing it again. Take your time. You need to do a different way to get there in the lunge. Take a different way. Stabilize yourself. Feel your grounding. Put your feet where a stable, good place is and find your way up. So remember, your arms can be up, your arms can be out. They can be anywhere you want them to be. Open the heart. Finding the breath. Feel your feet. Stay grounded, even if you're wobbling all over the place. What is your mind doing? Can you discipline the mind to stay? Let's go ahead and twist to the side. Put your arms where you want them. The mind is like a puppy, you know, it needs to be trained. We have to keep harnessing it. Back, back, back. Lift your arms. Come back to center wherever you want the arms to be. Exhale and find your way back down. Come to a plank again. Hug toward the midline. Use your chest muscles. Don't just use your pecs though. Use your lats. Use your serratus. Feel the side body muscles. And let's go ahead and put our knees down. And we're going to bring our forearms onto the earth. So you can either do this pose with your hands facing each other or your palms down. When you put your palms down, if it splays your elbows out or internally rotates your shoulders, try turning your palms toward each other. You can always hold a block or two in between your hands as well. Okay, so find your way. And then once you have your shoulders stable, so they're over the elbows and your arms feel grounded, go ahead and lift to dolphin pose, forearm dog pose. So the thigh bones lift up, the sit bones widen, lift your rib cage away from the floor. Find your breath, hug in toward the midline with your forearms. Doesn't have to be a gargantuan effort, but just stabilize. Root into the earth. Relax your neck. And then we're going to step our feet back slowly and come to a forearm plank. Once again, feel those stabilizing forces of drawing in. Can you compact yourself? Feel your rib cage, feel your arms hug in. Imagine a block between your thighs. Stabilize your core. This is great work for your transverse abdominis, that deep core stabilization. Breathe here. All right, let's go ahead and find our way. Keep your arms right where they're at. Just place your body down. You might need to scoot your body back. Just see where you need to be and come up to Sphinx pose. Stabilize here. We're going to be here just for a few breaths. Stretch your legs, engage your legs, press your legs. Move your tailbone away from your head. Lift the pubic bone toward the belly button. Do this subtly so that you're not gripping the buttocks, but you're stabilizing with your glutes. Finding lots of space in your lumbar spine. With that stability, can you broaden your chest? Can you open the heart? And then exhale and relax to come back down. Come up onto all fours and back into child's pose. If it's comfortable, if you need a little stop at all fours to move around, do that. Otherwise, stretch all the way back. Stretch your fingers, walk them forward as much as you can. Then we're going to come up onto all fours and walk the hands out in front of you. Puppy pose. So let's be the puppy of our mind, right? So drop your forearms, or not your forearms, your shoulders, but try and have a little loft underneath your shoulders. So underneath the armpits, little hot air balloons underneath the armpits, and let the thoracic spine move toward the earth. Broaden the chest, front, back, sides. Open the breath. All right, and then go ahead and walk your knees forward. Let's bring our right foot forward, our left foot back. Come into a lunge and then plant your back heel down. Virabhadrasana, one legs. So stretch your arms back. Keep your torso low. Palms are facing the floor. Engage your triceps. Engage the muscles along your spine, the muscles between your shoulder blades. Hug toward the midline so your lats are engaged too. Find the breath and then rise up from here. Keep your arms facing out for a moment. Open up your palms. And then if you want to, you can change the angle of your arms and bring them up or out or anywhere you want them to be. Stay rooted through your back heel without hyperextending the knee. See if you can have a little softness in the knee as you root the foot down. Extend through the ribs. Okay, great. And then we're going to turn and open up to Virabhadrasana 2. So Warrior 1 to Warrior 2. Finding your breath. Feel free to move a little bit if you need to find this pose. Okay. Remember, you can go less deep. You can go more deep. Doesn't matter which way you go. Dropping the shoulders down. Finding your breath. Gaze out over your fingers. Breathe deeply. Big inhale, big exhale. Stay rooted through the back heel, soften your knee. Let's find a revolved, or not a revolved, but a reverse. So feel the openness. Lift that right arm up in the air. And then unwind the legs. Interlace your hands behind your back. We're going to come back a little bit toward your one legs. Open the chest. Try not to push your rib cage forward. See if you can do this while integrating front and back and side bodies. Open the chest. Come forward. I'm going to hit my furniture. So go ahead and come forward into humble warrior. Okay. Reaching the arms up. If they go up, at least stretching them away from your shoulders. If your arms have to stay close to your spine, if your shoulder flexibility doesn't allow. Find the breath, hug in toward the midline. Bow your head, melt. All right, rise back up. Turn and open up to the long edge of your mat. Relax your arms. Shrug your shoulders once. And then come down halfway. Lengthen through your spine. Put your arms anywhere you want them to be. They can stay on your hips. They can move to the earth. Relax your upper body. Take a deep, full breath. Okay, come back to the front of your mat. Find dog pose. Then come onto your knees. Relax your hips back toward the heels. Feel the compression in your hips. Inhale, rise up onto your shins and open your chest big and wide. And then exhale and come back down onto your hands and your knees. Let's bring our left foot forward. Okay. Come into Virabhadrasana 1 on this side. So the front heel is rooting, the back heel is rooting. Everything's touching the floor, so our heel is down. Start low, so lean forward a bit. Bring your palms back. Lift the heads and the arm bones back. Feel the engagement in the back body. Support that with the front body. Feel your legs. Push your front heel into the ground to feel your glute. Extend the spine. And then when you're ready, rise up. Decide what you want to do with your arms. You want to leave them here? Do you want to bring them up over your head, out to the side, cactus, platter arms, whatever you want? Finding roots, both feet dropping. Deep inhale, deep exhale. And then we're going to turn and open up into Virabhadrasana 2. Warrior 1 to Warrior 2. So remember, depth is not as important as space and stability. So go where your body goes. Trust the truth of what you need to do right now. Drop in. Feel the weight. Are you enjoying being here? Are you here? Okay, is having a asana practice, physical practice, giving you that groundedness that you need to stay present, to work with these things that can downgrade our mental states? Can you discipline the mind to stay in the body? All right, reach the arm upward, find a reverse of your warrior, feel the side body stretch. And then straighten your leg for a moment. Interlace your hands behind your back. Do it the other way. So if you did the normal feeling finger hold before, do the abnormal feeling finger hold now. Open the chest. We're going to come forward into humble warrior. Release your head down toward your front leg. Relax a bit with your head. Feel rooted and grounded in both feet. Stabilize your legs. Maybe try spinning your jar lid on your front foot to make sure your hips are supported. Relax your head. Stay grounded in your back leg. All right, and then rise back up. Bringing both arms up to create a big standing starfish. Turn your feet so they're straight to the long edge of your mat. Find your breath. Expand yourself open. Make yourself big. Touch everything. And then fold forward. Relax your head down. Especially if you're dizzy, take some time to find your way into some ease. All right, let's spin back to the front of your mat, dog pose. Find the big open space here in your spine. Feel free to bend your elbows or knees any bit. All right, let's come forward. Put your knees onto the ground. And let's roll over onto our back. We won't be here forever. Don't get excited that we're down. Okay, so we're going to find bridge pose. So as you come into this posture, have your heels close toward your pelvis, as close as your body says is go. And then remember, when you come into bridge, you do not have to interlace your hands underneath you. You can. We've done some warming up with humble warrior to have that chest open with our arms interlaced behind our back. So if you want to do a traditional bridge and interlace your arms, that's fine. If that's uncomfortable for your elbows or shoulders, unwind that and just have your arms down at your sides and press your arms into the earth. Palms are facing up. Keep the back of the neck soft. Try not to push the neck into the floor and drop the chin down toward the throat. Instead, lift the sternum toward the chin. Okay, there is a Jalandhara Bandha, the throat bind, but it's a soft one. It's not a locked in. All right, so root into the feet, all four corners of both feet. Use those leg muscles, inner outer thighs, quads, hamstrings, glutes. Everything gets to share. Your legs love this pose. They do. You may not know it in your mind, but your legs sure know it, and they're in your body. So allow the work of the muscles. Muscles love to work. It's their job. Take some big old belly breaths. Feel the roots of your feet. All right, and then let's come down and rest for just a moment. Windshield wiper your knees. All right, for a moment, stretch out like a starfish and just notice, is the attraction of addiction, isolation, distraction, polarization, are you less attracted to them when you're in your body? Do you have a little more resiliency, a cloak of protection around you to be present, to be mindful, to be here with truth at the center when you move inside your body? All right, bring your knees in, roll over onto your side, and come onto all fours. Let's go ahead and bring our right foot forward. Okay, our left foot back. You can always support your knee with a blanket underneath your knee. We're going to take the left hand on the ground and reach back and grab the left foot. Now, if your body doesn't do this, you can use a strap around the front of your left ankle and hold on with a strap. You can also avoid this if your knees don't like to be on the floor for whatever reason. You can either grab onto your foot or you can grab a strap around your foot and stand up. Okay. However you want to stretch your quads, whatever's working for your body. Find your breath. Depending on, well, regardless, you're in your depth, right? In a pose like this, quads are stretching. Open up your heart. Feel the spaciousness come into the heart space. Finding the breath. Hug in toward the midline, still connecting front heel and back knee. Great, and then relax and melt that. Go ahead and come back to child's pose or all fours, and let's switch sides. So if you're standing, just use the strap or your hand around the other ankle. And if you need a blanket, if you're in the pose and you need a blanket underneath your knee, take it. Find your breath. We're going to put our right hand on the floor. Our left foot is forward. Reach back with your left hand to grab your right foot. Use a strap if you can't reach. Open the chest. Try to have the broadness across the collarbones without pinching the thoracic spine in. Feel the full 360 chest opening. Feel allow the hip flexors to open, not just at the knee, but all the way up to the belly. Okay, and then go ahead and relax and let that go. Child's pose. Bring your knees to touch. So come in close. Big inhale, big exhale. Come up onto your shins. Take a deep breath. Reach the arms up. Exhale and come back. Come to a plank or keep your knees down. You decide. And we're going to come all the way to the floor. So a couple choices here. If you feel ready for Dhanurasana, you can grab onto your ankles and we'll come into a full pose. Maybe that's not available for you from your knee flexion or whatever you're working with in your back. And maybe you'd rather do a Superman pose instead or a locust pose instead. So choose the variation of back bend that's serving you best. That's giving you capacity to be present in an honest way where you're trusting your boundaries. Breathe. Okay, so if you are holding your feet, kick into your hands, keep your knees from splaying out, open across the chest and the back body as much as you can. Protect the spine with your core. Breathe. Then come down and rest. Pick up your feet, turn your head one direction, and windshield wiper left and right. Pick up your head and go the other direction. Windshield wiper left and right. All right, we're coming on up. All fours. Swirl around. I promise we'll do some forward bending to release your back, but not yet. First, let's get into the hips. So pigeon pose with your right leg forward. If you need support, you can either put a blanket underneath your sit bone, or perhaps you can fold blankets like this, where they're long fold, one or two of them across your mat so that you can stick not only your sit bone, but your thigh on the blanket as well. So you do you. Your head can be supported. If you're not in pigeon pose and you're going into reverse pigeon pose because that's better for your body, then you lay on the floor and bring your right foot onto your left knee and draw your left knee toward your chest, interlacing your hands behind your thigh or the front of your shin. Whichever variation you're doing, widen the sit bones, square the pelvis, extend the spine, melt what you can. How is your exhale? Can you lose the clinging? To remember these kleshas of clinging to what we want, avoiding, averting to what we don't want. That head in the sand feeling. These two things are often at the roots of addiction and distraction. So know for yourself when these things attach onto you. Through the day, practice in little tiny ways the ability to let go. Maybe you're driving with someone and they go a different route than you would go. Let it go. Maybe, I mean, there's a million little examples throughout the day of where you might have a different opinion than somebody. Can you let it go? Something that you deeply want, can you let it go? Something you are avoiding, whether it's, you know, cleaning your bathroom or answering the email or talking to somebody or looking at the state of affairs of your health or your finances or anything. What are you avoiding? Can you allow a little bit of touchstone into those? Face the things that you don't like, that you're afraid of. Open the door to the closet you've shoved stuff in. There's so many ways to practice these things, these kleshas, working with the kleshas every day. Let's come on up and change sides. So find the support that you need. It might be different one side to the other. Heck, maybe you're doing a whole different pose from one side to the other. Explore the sensations of the body. Other little ways to practice that sense of detaching from your ego is, what do you identify as? What are your roles? Who do people see you as? Are you attached to any of these things? Can you disengage from your ego attachment? And instead, can you engage with the world? Can you feel the beauty all around you? Can you listen to the sounds around you? Can you hear? Can you smell? Can you touch? Find the things that are present, that are beautiful and connecting, whether they be people or any other thing. So you can practice all of these things, the ways we distract, isolate, polarize. We can practice little arts. Discipline yourself to practice the little arts so that the bigger stuff comes a little easier. Finding the breath, what's in your body, what can you surrender to right here in this pose? What are you avoiding in your body? What are you clinging to? Can you slip off the banks of the river and into the stream? Maybe it's the breath that you stream with. All right, let's find our way out and come onto your back. Okay, let's pause for a moment, and once you get there, bring your knees to your chest and rock around left and right. All right, we're going to do a simple twist. Put your feet on the ground, lift your hips up, scoot them right, knees up, drop them left. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, melt into the twist. Maybe turn your head. Let's go ahead and lift back up. Put your feet on the floor. Lift your hips, scooch them to the left, drop your knees over right. Take a deep breath in and melt your way over to the other side. Find your breath, find your yielding. And go ahead and come back up. Lying on your back, happy baby pose if it's available to you. You feel free to rock, go back onto your porch swing or your hammock. Be in the water, sway. Maybe you're just with knees to chest if happy baby is too much. And as you find your way into Shavasana, decide how you want to be. What kind of support do you need? Where do you want your limbs to land? Come into your pose. Find the ease. So discover where your body's most at rest. Melt what you can. Support yourself however you need. And as you surrender into the ground, into the earth below you, drop deep. Limbs are heavy and soft. The spine too. Melt your face. Relax your eyes. Melt through your jaw, your tongue, the base of your skull. Be here now. Feel your body and breath at rest. Tether yourself to the sensations of your body so as you draw in and rest, you're still here. Let's begin to deepen our breathing. Stretch through the breath first. Just make your breath a little deeper, both on the inhale and the exhale. And come into the body movement however you like to transition out of Shavasana. Eventually coming on to your side. Coming up to sit as you're ready. Let's bring our hands together and notice if your practice has given you a sense of presence or groundedness, sense of connection to both yourself, the earth, and those around you. Feel even through the waves of Zoom that you are with others right now. Let's offer our practice. Share your energy with someone who feels isolated, disconnected, distracted, polarized. Just offer your unity, your presence, your connection. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.